Yo, peace and black power. It's your brother Knowledge born alive. Do the Knowledge Radio. The place where knowledge is born.
Knowledge Radio.
This is 3K.
Think Tank.
This is 3K. Hey. This is 3K.
I swear that knowledge is born. It's where I swear that knowledge is born. It's where I swear that knowledge is born. It's where I swear that knowledge is born. Who ducked, who drew down, return fire. We're the warriors, the healers, enlighten us. I'm tired of the same old, that game old with an upgrade. I'm a sunbathed in the sun rays while my guns blaze and they come plain. Devil my level not attainable. My metal not malleable. I'm a man, didn't need that manual. Reparations is incalculable. Yeah, we want it in blood. Dead in the begging, head in the beheading. Metal to the meddling. Members is aggressive. Getting to the Armageddon. Karma, seem calmer when it comes to retribution. Caliber, catalyst in my clips and I use them on traitors and haters and the ones that spread confusion. Cause the devil's playground wasn't built for our amusement. Hey, meet me at the guard hour. Hey, in these strange days, you gon' need a strong counter. Spin like Beyblade. Impenetrable armor, Orient aura. This story, this saga get gory before it get calmer. Keep holding that revolutionary posture. 85 on dip and dodger, but when they get monster, they turn into MC Light, earrings, and become door knockers. I'm irate, they pirate the culture, send them to Davy Jones' locker. It's okay. Let them think that you lost it. Be patient, this type of thing you can't force it. Play possum, but not know out the road. And they can't comprehend cause the language is coded. We plan ideas and we plan explosives. Make your pockets go for more bits or more bread. The portal done open, they can't close it. You ain't got a sideline, you could cause more risk. No set birth date, no Dorian Gray portraits. It's about to get ugly and these devils can't forfeit. Ancestral memories, so no I won't forget. What we building is an impenetrable fortress for sure. Every show is just like a course ship, and my flow for sure tighter than your gal's corset. It's okay. We are the source, you can't outsource it. Even Spartans don't want no parts, never. What do you know? Before you know it, 3,000 wild Africans at your doorstep. Hey, meet me at the guard hour. Hey, in these strange days, you gon' need a strong counter. Spin like Beyblade. No, we will not cower while the rest they play safe. We will move with God's power. This is not for play. Honor my ancestors, play the Orient day. Peace to you, loved ones, stay dangerous and stay safe. AKAs and AKs coming to make their caves cave. Wreck the race like take case, stay dangerous and stay safe.
Brothers just walk up on me and they're just like, you know, you can just see the hunger in their eyes. Like as soon as you know what I mean? They was like, yo, you know, we agree and we think that you would fuck with us, and you know, I'm telling you, like, we nice and just give us a fucking chance type of shit, you know?
Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio, place for knowledge is born. The host Knowledge is Bobby here in the building on the day that was one of them illest days in 95, man, August 95. Today, only Built For Cuban Linx dropped, so I wanted to discuss it with the mastermind, hip hop aficionado, director, one of the illest eyes and one of the illest hip hop minds of this day and time, Jersey's own Che Blak, aka Pragmatic Che Blak. Peace to God.
Peace, Almighty. Besides, Lord.
Amen. What's today's mathematics, son? Knowledge of God. What this is. Yo, so we just get into it, man. We get into it. What's your earliest recollection, man? Take us back to August 95, man. Or whenever you heard Only Built For Cuban Linx. First time.
The first time I heard it in its entirety, or the first time, like, I remember they came to Philly to the radio station. I believe it was Ray, Ghost. I think Master Killer might have been with him. I'm not 100% sure. But I remember basically in that interview, you know, they played the song Cream. Not Cream. Uh, I'm thinking Cream, I'm thinking Ice Cream. Pardon me.
Yeah.
They played the track, the ice cream joint. Ice cream. And they played Ice Cream. And I remember hearing this shit like, yo, this shit go hard. Like, this is bananas right here. Like, yo, I'm really rocking with this right
Yeah.
here. I was in the car, you know, in my element with my homies and whatnot. We in the car listening. And I remember all of us just like, yo. And I think the album was dropping like the next week. You know, they was on the radio like on a Sunday night, Saturday night. I think the album might have been dropping like in like 2 weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was dropping soon though. I think it was like maybe the last week in July, and this was dropping August 1st. Then I heard Verbal Intercourse. Shout out to PRB, Princeton Radio. They used to play everything, all the hard shit. Vibes and Vape Show, yo, that was one of the hardest underground radio stations ever. But anyway, they played Verbal Intercourse as well as Knowledge God. And I remember just like maybe a couple days later when the album dropped, my cousin had copied it. And as a matter of fact, I can't even remember offhand if it was when my cousin copped it and I went up back down to South Jersey. I was up in North Jersey for a minute. When I went back down to South Jersey though, and my cousin had copped it. That's when I remember um, really riding out. That's when all the memories was pretty much to that particular album was created. That you know that summer right there. But I heard it through my man, his brother. His brother had a copy of it, and we was listening to it, and he was like, "Yo, this shit is purple." I remember when he showed us the purple joint. I was like, "Damn, yo, he played it. The shit was crazy." Because my cousin had the CD, and the CD, you know, it wasn't a purple CD. It had like I think a purple jewel case or part of the jewel case was purple. But either way, the tape was purple, and that was unique in itself, right there. Like that was just unique. It was a couple. It's been done. It wasn't something that they created or made up, but it was still unique in itself.
So you had a sneak peek into Ice Cream, which became like an anthem forever that blew up crazy. Verbal Intercourse, arguably one of Nas's greatest features.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and knowledge God. You see what I'm saying? Dealing with the science itself, you intrigued, you like, oh yeah, I need to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, then you hear it, so you're like, oh, okay. It's just something else right here. You see what I'm saying? So you in the tailspin. So now you listening to the album. Where you at in regards to the album? Like you hearing it?
When I listened to the album, it was it's the first thing I noticed, and then the albums back then usually had this element, but it was very cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
You had elements of a mob movies, the saga ones too, like uh, Once Upon a Time in America, like you know, those type of. It was a saga, and then in the street level, it was a street level crime. It was a street level crime story. The project of rising above. It was actually about rising above the streets to that next level. You know, crime in the criminal enterprise, in the criminal world. I guess from being a criminal to enterprise to being a criminal enterprise. and you know, it was extremely cinematic, and that was one of the things that I noticed about it. And it actually sounds like a movie. You know what I'm saying? It really does. And you can see them as the co-stars going through, you know, these different, you know, this world that they brought us in. And it was a break off. It was a huge break off from what the Wu was already offering. This wasn't, you know, none of what we heard on Cuban Link, with the exception of maybe some type of production and the beat that was recycled, but was what you heard on Takal. You know what I'm saying? As far as style and subject matter, you know what I'm saying? Theme. Same with Return to 36 Chambers. The theme, none of that had the elements that, you know, with this crime driven drug dealer in the world that is, you know, this cocaine dealing drug. None of that was what we seen from Wu-Tang previous. We didn't see it on 36. We heard the stories, but those was the same stories that we always hear. It wasn't nothing extra about those stories. It wasn't the intricate details of actually being a drug dealer. It was more of these were things that we did, you know, at a certain time in life to make it from this point to the next point.
Yeah, this is the movie. This is the movie that set off the wavelength of the movies. That was some of the Wu-Tang albums. You see what I'm saying? Like, aside from the Kung Flu influence type situation, this is Staircases to Stage. You know what I'm saying? You know, when Ray was like Staircases to Stage, incarcerated Scarface, like, this is another element right here. This is that was a thing that was a buzz, but this is real life. This is where we at. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the epic saga of I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. So this is the New York Times side. Like, you seen somebody in the paper, they got murked type situation. You see what I'm saying? Blended in with what you talking about in the same space to the elevation. 95 was crazy. I remember they did a concert and we was there for the joint. This is the circa of Bad Boys 1. You know what I'm saying? And the Bad Boys 1 soundtrack, Biggie on the joint, Tupac on the joint. You see what I'm saying? The show soundtrack, How High, all of this is the element of 95. Smith and Wesson album, you know what I'm saying? It's shining. So it's a rough ass summer to decide to say, I'm gonna drop my joint right here. You know what I mean? And then you get the lead off with Method Man doing the Eddie Murphy joint. Get some money, mommy throw me some money, the ice cream man is coming, and then it's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is all of these elements right here. So you see some cats that's grimy, some where they influence that, and then they pulling us into the streets, and then they going into like mega moguls at the same time. You see what I'm saying? They're becoming symbols out here. You know what I mean? You see Meth and You Got and Dirty with SWV, then Dirty with Mariah. So it's like all of the epicenter of these cats that was just doing this at the same time. Then they like cracked the bottle of a St. Ives. You see what I'm saying? Like all these elements all at one time. It's like, oh, where they not at? The video game come, all that shit. Like, so all these things is happening simultaneous, and we like looking at the album. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a purple tape. I couldn't afford the purple tape, so I had to hear about the purple tape too. I could find the purple tape with my own money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's purple. I'm like, I'm just in the back, like being quiet about the shit. You see what I'm saying? I had no money for a purple tape, so I had the album. You know what I'm saying? I had to take whatever the tape was from the bootleg man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right. So, you know, cats might have had the purple tape. They might have had the joint where you could fold it out and you could see who the acknowledgments was or who was on the album and all that. We ain't have all that. You understand what I'm saying? It's like 10 of us around somebody's radio or whatever you had in your Walkman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to see them live at that Def Jam tour was crazy too because it put all the other elements and pieces together. So this was my introduction. You know what I mean? Like my brother had the record, I had the bootleg tape, or I dubbed it from somebody or whatever it was. Like that's how the shit went around. It wasn't just somebody just out there with the joint, like, oh, we just heard, yo, it's called the purple tape. We didn't know that the tape was actually purple in our physical possession. We started seeing like cats maybe had the purple tape. You see what I'm saying? So even the purple tape was astounding to know that this tape was actually purple. You know what I'm saying? Because we had the bootleg chunks. We had the bootleg chunks, man. So yeah, it's just nuts for me. And I remember hearing the joint, man, for the first time. I think the first joint I heard was Knowledge God. You see what I'm saying? Like it was the cat around the way. My man Stevie D. He had put me on to the joint. He had like a Raekwon demeanor. You see what I'm saying? Like so, like it was like physically somebody in my hood who had the Raekwon demeanor. So I looked at cat like Raekwon. See what I'm saying? So I listened to the joint on the stoop all the way through. I was like, yo, this is crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like these are the same cats like that was on the other joint because the Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? It's 36 Chambers was iconic. So yeah, this train was nuts, man. Nuts. We got a special guest, man, in the building, man. Like Ghostface. You know what I'm saying? Like Ghostface. He's sneaking in faceless on some Ghostface shit, man. Digital Underground's your own young hump. He on some now you see me, now you don't. You understand? He on some now you see me, now you don't.
Yo, you hear me, Lord?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we came
Peace,
here. Peace, eh? Peace, brother. Yeah, man, you know how we do. We combine, we activate the most activated. We here to talk about the masterpiece of masterpieces. I'm glad to see y'all bringing it to the airwaves and celebration.
Have to make moves and slide like grease. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
So,
come
question for you, man. Question for you, as you being the Wu aficionado that you are. You know what I'm saying? Take us back to you over there on the West Coast and your exploits and relationship with the first time hearing the Purple Tape.
You know what's funny, right? So let me preface this with this. That's my favorite album of all time in any genre of music. So I just want to say that. You know what I mean? Like, I love, Stevie Wonder got songs in the key of life, and, we know about Midnight Marauders, and I'm from where the Chronic came from, and all of that. But you ask me, it's Cuban Linx. That's what I'm dealing with. So let me start with that. And I will say, the first time I heard that album, it's probably like the way a person that got struck by lightning doesn't really remember it the day. They just remember at some point there was sparks. Like I just remember very loosely like being in a room, my room, and I just remember like it felt like it was like watching somebody do graffiti in front of you for the first time. And it was like that's the best way to describe it. It wasn't even like as much. It was the most visual of anything that was audio that I'd ever experienced before, because everybody's experience is different, and I don't want to use any. I'm always want to use other shit as an example to get to what I'm saying, but I'll say this: it's like I put it like this. I feel like there's certain songs, albums, whatever people talk about, and they talk about it so much, and it's like not to take nothing away from it, but on a certain level, it's almost like it's just audio. But when that Cuban Linx came out, it was like a nigga was seeing streaks in the air. It was like fireworks were just in my room. And I just remember being like, this is, and I'm fully like had bought all the Wu-Tang shit when it came out. There ain't a Wu album I didn't get the week it came out, from the original, original run. I can't say that every album post, whatever. But in those days, I bought all that shit. If not the day, the week it came out, I was on top of it in real time. You know what I mean? But when I was super geeked for Links, but I had no idea what was gonna happen. Like Old Dirty Bastard, I kind of knew what was gonna happen. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is like I kind of had an expectation and sort of knew what to expect. Blah 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 blah. And it was kind of got sort of what I mean, it was different, but you know what I mean. But Jizza was sort of like a kind of, with Ray, it was the one I didn't know what to expect, because Ray was different. He was like, as he even said himself, like he was Ray's own words, he said he was kind of like the dude that felt like it was the hardest for him to kind of like really fit into the prototype of what you thought of a Wu-Tang nigga being. Like he wasn't really, like Dirty, Method Man, their shit was so hyper stylized. So, and then Jizza was that. Ray's shit was kind of like, it was just, he was a different kind of thing. So when the album came out, I was like, all right, let's see what this man's doing. But we was loving him. We just didn't, it was, so what I'm saying, it was kind of like, he wasn't the most lyrical of all of them. So it wasn't like with Jizza, okay, we're expecting verses, you didn't really know what to expect with Ray. You knew he was gonna just talk some street shit, but you didn't know like what kind of aesthetic he was gonna be on. And man, brothers, when that shit, it was just like I said, it was like fireworks, man. So that album, and I still hear the fireworks and see the fireworks when I listen to it. You know what I mean? It's like that shit is just, there's nothing like it, man. I think that's the epitome of, that's what we talk about whenever we fight for RZA. Whenever people want to talk about RZA and they want to try to downplay the God, it's like, that's what I'm fighting. That's what I'm fighting you with. I'm fighting you with Only Built For Cuban Linx. Everything else, yeah, but I'm fighting you, and I don't mean to say it like that, but I'm saying at the end of it all, it's that Cuban Linx. That's the hill niggas is gonna die on when it comes to that Wu-Tang conversation, because I think that's the masterpiece of the entire discography of anything Wu-Tang. Anything that has the word Wu-Tang on it, that is that's the thing. That's the grand masterpiece. There are a lot of masterpieces, but that's the one. And that's what we talking about. There's nothing like it. And that's how I feel about it.
Now let me ask y'all this. There's a chain of events that I noticed as a pattern early on with the Wu-Tang. Whoever was up next, they kind of gave him one of the greatest alley-oop. I
Yeah.
think after Meth coming with METHOD and kind of pulling ahead of the pack, he was in perfect position to come out with his album. You know what I'm saying? So Ray being in the shoot, coming up with Meth vs. Chef. You know what I'm saying? He on Meth vs. Chef right there. You see what I'm saying? So I said that to ask about Ghostface all over the album. Ghostface, we get to hear Ghostface in a way we never heard Ghostface prior to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Ghostface featuring on the album. Do y'all think this was an epic setup for Iron Man? What y'all think about Ghostface, all over the album type situation? You see what I'm saying? Like, what kind of position did Ghostface have momentum wise coming off that album going into Iron Man?
Well, I would say you were saying with Ghostface, uh, it seemed like it was a group almost, like it didn't seem it, even though it was a solo album, this wasn't a solo album. This was a Ray and Ghost album, and it seemed like that. As far as the continuing into Iron Man, even when they went into Iron Man, I felt like they still carried that same legacy, and then just added Capadonna in the mix. They had him who we heard him on 2 songs in the mix, so so it was like I said this before. It was a sequel without being a sequel, as far as that goes. which I was actually even surprised because when they announced the Iron Man album, I'm like, wow, you know, it was like he just had an album, you know. So as far as that goes, I think, you know, I think that it was like it was his album as well. Like I
Yeah, I
said,
think my
Get Started, but
sentiments
it should
was
have
the
said
same.
co-star. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. On some epic movie shit. Young Hunk.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I was gonna say, y'all can y'all still hear me right now?
yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. I was gonna say, it's like you almost don't know how much of it was fake, how much of it was really look at the history of the Wu-Tang Clan. You know, Ghost was always put on a pedestal. Let's build. I mean, you know, from the first verse on the first album, but the first word out of his mouth is Ghostface. You start there. You could say, you know, Shaquan, Inspector Deck, introducing the Ghostface Killah. No one could get iller. Like, Ghost was always put on the pedestal. And when you understand the dynamics of how active he was, he's the one, you know, from the original Nine Born, he's the one Stapleton nigga. He was like, he was always, he's the guy that brought the word, made it the slang, you know, it's like, man, he's really the heart of the Wu-Tang. Really go there, like, just to go there. Like, you know, you can flip that in a lot of ways. You know, people say Dirty is the heart of the Wu-Tang. Okay, Dirty is the heart, Ghost is the center. He's that. He's not, you know, he's something different. So, anyway, saying all that to say, he was always there. So, certain things just started to just blend. It just started happening. Like, I don't think that was the plan. Like RZA, I don't think RZA convinced Raekwon to do that. That was just what Ray was at. But it's like it all just falls in line with the fact that the Ghost has always had this different kind of thing. Now, we all know what it was with Method Man. It's easy, you know, the Method Man was the star at first, but that's not what I'm talking about. Meth was the star, but Ghost was like something else. You know what I mean? He was put on a different pedestal. So the way that shit just played out, it was just like it was just perfect. And it was like what the universe wanted. Ghost, he kind of like, you know, he's just something different, man. You know, it is what it is, man. He has a flair to him. He has a flair to him that's beyond anybody else in any rap group. He just, you know, and I'm not trying to sit here and just sweat Ghost, but I'm just, you know, asking the question. So to really answer the question, it's like, you know, what we're talking about. We're not just talking about another nigga who was nice, who had mentioned it. Like he still is. He just carries it. He just has a different thing. Always really good. I mean, the nigga's name is Ghostface. It's like he's coming in different. So the momentum that was set up for him was just so crazy. It was so crazy. It's like it was just like how does that even happen? Right? He just stole the show on this man's album. He just stole the show. We all know what it is. And you know, it's incredible as Ray was spinning that album. Ghostface stole the show. You know what I mean? And that's not a slight to anyone. What it is, it's just like, it's like, James Worthy scored 24 points. Magic Johnson scored 36. What it is, he scored 24 points, in the playoff game. You know what I mean? So yeah, all that to say, it was just some like divine shit was just clicking, man. And then, he just came with it for Iron Man. It was just unreal. It was like an unreal, because that was when the Wu kind of defined themselves in a different sort of space. Like, they weren't just like rappers. They went into like a different kind of like, they had like this cinematic quality to them. And prior to that, I always stand on, you got an LA nigga on the phone, Q was the dude that had the cinematic shit before that, but it just wasn't as, you know, as cinematic as Desolate as it is. Only Built For Cuban Linx. I mean, it just start that just, you know, from the skit, it just comes in like they immediately, like, you know, like one of those like an action movie that just starts with the heroes like hanging off the cliff. You know, like it just starts. These niggas is like, yo, this is it, God. Like it just starts like that. So yeah. Anyways, I know I keep going on forever talking about this shit.
Yeah. Yo, son, check the fly shit, son. Che, what you think about this comment right here from Old Lou, man? Peace to the God, Old Lou, man. You on mute, G. Che, you on mute.
Pardon me. First of all, I just want to say that you know, I agree with the brother, Young Hump. And Ghost was the heart and soul of that project. You know, like Ray was like the director, but you know, Ghost, he added that extra flavor that, you know what I mean, wouldn't have been there. You know, he added a lot of extra flavor to that. You know what I mean? Which pretty much, I should say, he added the season and that shaped the flavor. You know what I'm saying? Peace to my brother, old little guy right there. Yeah, I agree though. You know, it's for, I say this, the irony of what he's saying, but yeah, you know, Ghost definitely, you know, has the most songs probably penned for women. However, you have to remember that when he did the joint with Mary, when Meth did the joint with Mary, that sold that deal. You know what I mean? So it was, whether he wanted to or not, when he did that specific joint, they did the Puffy came through and they did the, you know, the remix or whatever from the original. Because that original version wouldn't have resonated like that, the one that was on the album. You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, that's what I had to say about that comment.
All right, so now, top 5 songs on the album, man, in order.
Top 5 songs on Cuban Link
For you.
in order for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Top 5 songs. Okay. I would say um, Rainy Days, Ice Water, Wu Gambinos. What's that? 4 right there? Or 3?
That's
4?
3.
That's 3?
Yeah.
All right. 2 more. I would say um, oh man, it's a tough one. Tough to toss up between a few. Let's see. I'm sitting there trying to make sure I don't miss nothing. Uh, oh man, everything else is like a tie, man. Let me see what else. Um, Guillotine Swords and Ice Cream.
That's a tough list. That's a tough ass list right there. Sheesh. Oh, look, I sent you the link, man. Hop on here, man. Stop playing, man. Get out the chat, man. Come on, man. You qualified to be up here. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, man. I'm going Glaciers of Ice, man. You know why I'm going Glaciers of Ice. You understand what I'm saying? You know why I'm going Glaciers of Ice, man. Glaciers of Ice.
And man, you know what? Glazes of Ice definitely belongs in there. I actually was tripping.
Criminology. Wisdom Body was crazy.
I was thinking Wisdom Body.
Wisdom Body was crazy.
It was crazy.
And what's my joint? Spot Rushes was nuts. Line for line, how we get down with the rhyme. Can you feel me? Storytime rap with Jalen, I ain't selling. What was the joint? The joint, what's my joint? But you said the joints, man. I don't want to pick the same joints that you said, man. Because Wu Gambino's.
If your list is the same as my list, you don't gotta circumvent what I said because you don't already pick 2 or 3 that I didn't pick.
Rainy Days, man. Rainy Days in the jungle, Papa Wu, man. Like when I be on them days,
Jules, man, yeah, Jules was up there. They mentioned my birthday in Jules, man.
Yeah.
July the 10th, I bought a mink.
Yeah. Yeah, the joint is just one of it's a couple songs where you zone out. You hear the joint, you just zone out all the way. You going somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? Like Rainy Days is one of those joints, and Papa Wu on the joint, man, on the North Star joint. You see what I'm saying? At the end, man, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now he's not here physically. It means something else. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it got a whole nother meaning to the joint. So that joint, and then when he on that joint, like I listened to them both together on one joint. When he talking on the first joint, and then when he talking on the second joint. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's just different. That's a different joint. It's a tough joint, man. You picked some tough joints, man. Guillotine swords, poisonous paragraphs, massive one graph and half of me the inspector deck on the war fab. Yeah.
That was to me a moment for Deck to shine. And also the first time we got to hear Jizza on one of the solo projects.
Right. Got man styles of my own.
Yeah, he was on 36, Return to 36 Chains.
Yeah.
He was on that.
But you ain't really hear him. That was a joint you really heard him spit. You see what I'm saying? And that's a joint where when he want to style, he'll come with that verse. He'll come with that verse in the show. You see what I'm saying? The God don't get mad. The God don't get mad. Yeah. Something with my hands, grip the chrome microphone. Verbally, I catch bodies, record list shotties, and trigger them seeds. I keep them trained like bodies. My bomb facts, my sword's act, the spread backs visible. Like dope fiend tracks, sky's the limit. Timid, nobody know how you move like wolves and sheets clothes, producer, data, Michael. I was like, man, he was going crazy. I remember listening to that joint, and I was in the high.
From the north, striking is what a
Mason dick around cross. So yeah, this album, the John Woo, it had you know what I'm saying? Like it went from yo man, where my killer tape to putting the killer tape in the joint. You see what I'm saying? Like crazy. That's why I was talking. I got a question about my mentor because in Mafioso Chef, his ad libs is crazy. Yo, it's my turn. You see what I'm saying? Like literally, I'm up next. You see what I'm saying? Like it's my turn, not just on the song. Like just I'm up next. Like you had your time. It's about to be my time. Yo, bring that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just so many to me, that's why I'm thinking it was some kind of pattern. It's like, all right, well, I'll put you here, you here, and then it's like, all right, you come out with the album, you come out with the album, all right, you come out with the album type situation. So I don't know if that was coordinated like that. That's just in my mind. But them assists was ill. Like Ghost had the greatest momentum ever coming off that album to go do his joint. You see what I'm saying? If they didn't record it at the same time, it might have been recording joints at the same time, and then it just happened. His was done, and then his was done. You know what I'm saying? Or put out, however it go. That was craziness. Craziness.
Yeah,
Top.
they actually, according to word, they didn't,
Uh,
but because initially, Ghost even said they was gonna wait. Ghost wasn't gonna come right with a solo album, but like you said, it was the momentum that kind of like forced the issue. Because now Ghost is an unsigned artist. So now it's like, yo, we need to sign him because we already know that, we already know that he got a fan base. Look what they just did. So they were able to use that as leverage, which then, of course, kind of forced the situation where they needed to put a Ghostface project out, as opposed to where before it was like, okay, Ray gonna have Ghost on his album, so we're gonna think about Deck next, or think about Master Killer, or maybe You God. Give them a chance to shine before Ghost comes back out, because Ghost basically was out on Ray album. However, like you said, the momentum, and you got to strike when you're hot.
Right.
You don't want to give them Ghost. You don't want them wanting Ghost, and then you give them, Tech.
Right.
Because it's gonna hurt both of them.
Yeah, this was crazy. So he gets a joint, and then I think Capadonna gets an alley-oop on Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? I think he gets the illest alley-oop on Iron Man because of, his verse on Win Wars and his verse on Daytona 500. You know what I'm saying? I think he gets it's undeniable. It was so crazy that he on two joints on this album, and it gets overshined by his work on Iron Man joint. See what I'm saying? So it's like he does it. He does it. So it's just position for me, I think.
What made Iron Man ill, adding Capadonna, was because it already felt like this newcomer, because we didn't hear him, regardless of the history. To the fans and listeners, he was a newcomer. It already had a feel like this newcomer was like the third man that they ran. You know what I mean? It was like the homie that they called up or whatever when they needed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when they did Iron Man, adding him to the mix in a more, in a more leading role, I should say, it definitely made sense. And all of the tracks, like, it's funny because Iron Man felt like a Ray and Ghost project. Like, all right, Cuban Linx felt like a Ray and Ghost project with Ray directing it. Iron Man felt like a Ray and Ghost project with Ghost directing it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the big difference. Now Ghost was pretty much calling the shots. And I feel like with Iron Man, it sounded like, I can't say this to be a fact, but it sounded and felt like Ghost called more shots, or I should say, Ray called less shots on Iron Man than Ghost called on Cuban Linx. You know, but you know, they're both great albums. Like I said, one's a sequel without being the sequel. You know, and adding Capadonna in one of the illest alley-oops. It still had the Ray and Ghost feel, but most of the songs, like there wasn't but like one or two songs with just Ray and Ghost on it. You know, they had Capadonna was basically on all the songs with Ray was damn near with Capadonna as well and somebody else. You know, Cam May, classic joint. Daytona.
Yeah.
You know,
Fish.
so well, yeah, I was just thinking of Fish.
Yeah.
You know,
Iron Maiden.
the intro, yeah, Iron Man, the intro song. So yeah, it was definitely, you know, and then the songs with just Ray and Ghost gave us classic Ray and Ghost. You know, 260, which sounded almost had not sounded, but had a feel like Spot Rushes.
Right.
You know, it felt like Spot Rushes a little bit, so it was just like a continuation of that. Then you had, even though that was mostly Ghost, you had Mother's Child.
Yeah. Yeah, that was epic too. They was on Sunset Park soundtrack and all that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like it was just on the joint with Jodeci and shit. You see what I'm saying? Like it was just too much. It was too much going on at one time, man, to really appreciate all of that.
Ray and Ghost was hot, man. You know, Ray and Ghost was hot.
Yeah.
And it was like, unfortunately, as artists, there came a time where both of them wanted to do Ray albums and Ghost wanted to do Ghost albums. You know, and that's it's unfortunate for a lot of the fans. I mean, it's fortunate because we also got great work out of them in that capacity. But it's as far as the fans, we end up not getting a return to that. So there was never after Iron Man, with the exception of songs that were on different projects, there was never a return to that Ray and Ghost. You know, with Supreme Clientele was like the closest, even though Ray wasn't the guest star on that project. The lead off single featured Ray. You know, and yeah, really that was it. It was just the lead off single. But the lead off single featuring Ray was almost gave you that feel like, okay, damn, even though Ray only came through with the one verse, it's like, yo, that's still Ray and Ghost. Like Ray still had to get up on there for a second. You know, it really the one thing you felt about that project, and I mean the Cuban Linx project, was the camaraderie between Ray and Ghost, and you felt it carried into the Iron Man album to the point where it probably wasn't the closest out of the Wu members with each other. You know what I'm saying? However, you felt like they were. You felt like they came up from the beginning. Like they came in the door together.
It's real. Man. So this joint right here, production wise, feature wise. Well, matter of fact, I'm just asking you about feature-wise. So how important were the features, and then greatest features on the album in your ranking system?
Well, you know, verbal intercourse is, you know, probably the greatest feature of all time. What Nas did on that track is possibly Nas's greatest verse ever, single verse, very well possible. Um, that's a great song. You know, I would have to say that that's actually should have been in the top five. My top five, thinking about it. That like Nas's verse was so crazy that Ghost had to take motherfuckers. The problem, he had to take people to jail. Like, he had to take you out of jail to get away from how ill Nas' verse was. Like, yo, I gotta do something crazy. Like, I gotta take y'all out. Y'all don't even know what's going on, what I'm talking about. I have to take, like, literally, you know. And you can even hear Ray trying to keep up. You know what I mean, I remember hearing Ray verse like, okay, Ray really trying to keep up with Nas right now. Perhaps Bullet's bust, discuss mad money, true lies, and white guys. We can
We can see through the eyes. Yeah.
I was saying, like, yo, I gotta, you know what I mean? I'm coming on the track with Nas right now. That's what that intro was right there. He couldn't keep that same bounce and momentum throughout the whole verse, but you know, that's because you know you got Nas on the track. Kilos disintegrate. The fiends licking plates in the building, niggas building like little children staring. The older niggas ain't caring.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. And it's funny because we know Ghost with a chopped up style, not finishing thoughts and rhymes and all of that. We even know Kappa, but Ray is really the father of that style amongst the Wu, in all honesty. Regardless of who you like does it the best, Ray is the father of that style.
Right. So Nas, top tier feature. Who's next? Who's next in the slot? Features for the album.
I would say it's a toss up between Deck and Jissa. One opened perfectly and one closed beautifully. It was just, you know, I will say this. Every Wu member that had a verse on that project showed up. You know, not Nas, Meth verse on Wu Gambino's stuff. I mean, my vocals are probably born like he does to the Magami for real. Ain't no pine, ain't no
Of course.
idea.
This is at the party, like sort of side, like my head,
That's the
naughty
new
and my
shit. Yeah, be the Wu, yeah. The
yeah.
16 was a thing, but
He said, hold up. That's fresh. I'm still paying dues. And the last one is death. Back to the essence with that shit you stressing. This rap profession now beats a cow. The son of the style. I'm strike the style. Criminals you pay the last time's day. Johnny fucking late.
great.
I was like, he throw the mic down like, man, here.
Ray came in, you know, this one will go both like Yayo, Lalo, plus cooling in Barbados. I also like the placement. I like the way that, you know, Ray wasn't ending all the tracks and starting all of them, you know what I mean? Like, even when Ghost did Iron Man, like Ray would just come out of the middle of the track, you know what I'm saying? Like it used to be it's my song, so I'm gonna either start it off or I'm gonna end it off. You know what I'm saying?
Teach. That's what I'm talking about. That's a great point. That's a great point. And that runs through, you know, the general body of work of the Wu-Tang in general, but you really make it a point, especially in that early era where they was really really like, you know, just locking everything in. Like these, we're just us. We're here now. We've saved the day. Like you're right. Ray could have been like, yeah, I'm gonna end it on da da da. I think he raps like what, third or fourth on Wu Gambino's, right? Like exactly. That's like a good like point. That's an amazing point actually.
Yeah, yeah. I've always appreciated that about it.
Yeah, no, they really show like adherence to the fact that they know that they're making this thing called music. Like a lot of people, their rap albums don't always adhere to that. It's, you know, like it's easy to say everything is music and everything is music, but what I'm saying is like sometimes the rap nigga shit gets so prevalent that you can hear like the rap nigga me shit is standing on top of everything. And so song arrangements just feel like a bit too much of a pageant show. And next we have this nigga with his 16. It doesn't really like feel like they was doing something because it felt right. It feels more like, you know, I don't know, politics of you know, divvying up shares. One for you, two, you know, 16 for me, 16 for you, 1, 2, 6.
Word.
Oh man.
But we was ranking the features, best features in your ranking system.
On the best features on Cuban Links.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and then we did what we did, top
that's
five
pressure.
songs, top 5 songs also.
That's real pressure. All right.
Real pressure, believe me.
In order too, not no shit when you slide on it in no particular order. I'm saying fuck all that. We need the order.
Okay. I happen to have the purple tape next to me just so I can be super. You know what's funny? That's one of those albums that over the years, like what songs mean the most to me have kind of changed, especially trying to be like what song is my favorite now. Woo, that's hard, but for sure, the 5 is gonna be everything that has ice in it. Glaciers of Ice, Ice Glaciers, North Star Jewels.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Those 3 for sure. There's no getting around those 3. After that, it's pressure because it's like sometimes I want to say criminality, sometimes I want to say spot rushers. Like I've been on my spot rushers shit lately for 2024. I've been heavy on spot rushers, but then damn. I mean, yeah, right now I'm gonna give it to spot rushers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give it to spot rushers because that shit is just, it's just something about it. It's hard to see. You see when you said like you feel me. It's like I don't even have to explain it. Something about that song.
Scott Russell's was in my list, man. I'm telling you, like,
Yeah,
can you feel me? Storytelling, rapping, telling. I ain't telling.
Yeah, it's like
something.
something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
song.
was like, oh shit.
We're gonna get this cruddy chump for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like something
Have me
about
like
it is.
speed all out of my face. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see it. You like, damn, was I in there when it was playing in the jukes? Like something. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
and you know what? Another thing about that song too is like RZA was really clowning with the motherfucking snare. Like he was treating the snare like a motherfucker was tapping you in the head, like bop bop. Like, you know, somebody like tap you. It's not even. It's like he was really clowning on the production on that shit. Oh, excuse me. Knowledge God. I mean, what the fuck am I talking about? Knowledge God. You know, what am I talking about? That's actually Knowledge God is my favorite song on the album. Yeah, it's Knowledge God. I mean, well, Knowledge God is tied probably. It's probably tied with those other four. No, Knowledge God is tied with Glaciers of Ice and yeah, but yeah, that album is hard. Man. It's a hard question. Why you do this to me, Knowledge? I'm waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat.
We had to deal with this shit. Like Che, I had to deal with it. I'm trying not to overlap this list. It's like it's other songs on the joint, and I'm like, man,
yeah, I mean,
damn,
fucking Ice Cream. I mean,
stressed
Jesus.
out, man. I was stressed out. So yeah, you get to feel the stress we had.
Yeah, that's a stressful, that's a tall order, man. You know what I mean? But that's how that just goes to show what it is. It's like if you ask me that about Midnight Marauder or Cuban Linx, I'm not gonna stress the answer. It's not gonna be so hard. It's gonna be challenging, but like with Cuban Linx, it's just different, man. It's just something about that album. You know, I don't want to get all too esoteric, man, but that album is like a magical work. It's like I want to hear A.A. Rashid talk about that album because it's got some shit going on in it that's not just rap. It's like something else. It's like they opened up some shit with that album, and that's why they still the way they are. Like if you notice Ghost and Ray, they have a different I don't know. This might sound weird and shit. I don't want to like it to be taken the wrong way, but like they the two out of the whole clan that currently it still feel like the way it always felt with them. Like I'll just leave it at that. Like it's like, and I honestly feel like it's the strength of that album. Like that album is like it's like a it's almost like what's that shit what's the shit motherfuckers can't fly over, the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, it's like that album is like the positive Bermuda Triangle. It's like something about that album is like a magical force field, and if you stay over there you're gonna be all right. You know, that's why I stay over there and I'm all right. You know what I mean? It's like, but what I mean by that is like because they perform that all the time, and that's what it's always like. It keeps the aesthetic. Like I'll even go here, right? Like, okay, I'm a reach, but I know y'all brothers is gonna feel me. Like you look at what LL's doing right now, right? And this is random, but I'm gonna make it land. Watch. LL, his 2 new songs, he sounded like LL ain't sounded like that since the 90s. And I'm not saying he sounded like that then, but I mean like he's coming with fire that he ain't had fire like that since the 90s. Okay, what's the difference? I'll tell you one thing. If you look at both of the songs, he got references to motherfucking Mitch and Alpo and Rich and Alpo and AZ. He's really, you know, the significance of how the way Paid in Full has become our Scarface. It's become a part of our. It's really just expanded into something. It's cult. It's part of the DNA of niggas. If niggas are tapped into East Coast rap music, and you're not 9 years old, you know, it's like fucking Paid in Full is part of it's the air we breathe now. And LL ran with them niggas. Now, here's the thing. It's not like he didn't know that during the early 2000s, but now he's thinking about it and it's in his mind. So his bars, he's making little references and he's just in that aesthetic. And then it's like he's even mentioning Q-Tip it was originally from Harlem. So the two of them, even though it's Queens get the money, they kind of tapping into their Harlem energy. So that's feeding because, you know, a lot of times with motherfuckers that are masters, they have the skill set. It's just what's going to keep them in the energy of where they need to be. And, you know, like Ray, to me, Ray's spitting better now than he did on Cuban Linx. That's my personal opinion. Ray,
absolutely. Ray,
you right there with me, my nigga. Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely one has advanced this whole other thing.
You know what I mean? So it's but yeah, that's the masterwork, man. Cuban Linx. That's
They captured a moment. You understand what I'm saying? Like this was a classical time that they was able to capture a moment. When you think about the span from '94 to up until I say up until '96, but you know '95 really. You know what I mean? '96 because that's when we had Nas coming back. It was written, but when we go to '94, when we go to Illmatic, can y'all hear me good?
yep.
When you go, you got Illmatic, you got Ready to Die, then you got The Shining, then you got Mobb Deep coming out in '95 with Infamous, you know, and then behind that you got Ray and Ghost coming out that summer. You know, they came out in the spring with that, and in the summer, you know, you had Ray and Ghost come out. It just was a classic time, and it was a vibe. It was a vibe. How they say it's a vibe. That was a vibe. It was a different vibe though. You know what I mean? And it was something that they captured that along with, you know, Havoc and Prodigy, uh, Tech and Steel, you know what I'm saying? Nas, Biggie, it was a vibe. And a lot of these artists captured that vibe and created some, you know, some classic debut LPs. And Ray and Ghost, they captured a moment. You know what I mean? And which is why we always, you know, like you said, they rap well, Ray especially better now than he was then. You know, but here's the thing. That time is over. So it's like even if we get Cuban Link 3, which Cuban Link 2 was dope. You know what I'm saying? That was a time they captured that moment. Like you can still make great music behind that, but capturing that moment was huge. Because that was a huge moment. Like, all right, I'm 46. The cat's older than me. That's between like 60 and 55. You know, they always talking about 1988.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 95 was like my 98.
Thank you.
My 88.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny because it's 7 years, which there it is right there. Like, but you're right. You're totally right. 95 is our 88. You know, that's a good call. That should be on a shirt. 95 is our 88. That's hard. That's hard.
Word. That's what it was. You know, that was our time. And they captured the, you know, they provided the theme, the soundtrack for our time.
But what was so ill though, to add to what you're saying, is like you said, they captured the moment, but also it was like they made the moment because, like, okay, for example, some music when you hear it, you be like, yeah, that was what it was sounding like. That's what it was. But Cuban Linx was like nothing sounded like that. I mean, even the Wu-Tang shit didn't sound like that.
And
It was like,
that's what I would have added on to that. That was an extension of that Wu. Remember,
yeah. So it's like they captured the moment, but then they fucking souped the moment up, put details on it. They like really made it something more, and they just brought shit that wasn't even, because right when you listen to it, it has all of the like the 95 like the temperature and the air pressure and all the like the elements of 95 is there. But when you listen to The Shining, or you listen to whatever Pete Rock shit was going on at that time, or you listen to, you listen to all those things around then, it's like that album is like
different. It's like they went into another little portal of some other shit and said, like, I mean, even like that, like even they don't use some snares that everybody was using in 95. That snare ain't on there. That one famous snare, I don't know how to describe it. But it's like even shit like that, like the sounds, it was just totally, niggas wasn't sampling shit like that. I mean, you know, it was, I mean, like the vocal sample on, like, it's funny, right? I was listening to Verbal Intercourse the other day. And I was like, man, now with the technique, they could just take the but what if they could just take that out, right? But they couldn't take it out back then. So RZA just said, fuck it. He was so ill to be like, nah, nigga, that's the shit. Rhyme over it. Fuck it. And Ray and Ghost could have been like, imagine there are plenty of niggas that be like, man, he's talking. I ain't gonna rhyme over that. But they was with it. You know what I mean? It's like everybody was in the right, was of the right mind. Like niggas were creative enough, crazy enough, daring enough, not giving a fuck enough, but also caring enough and super obsessing enough. Like when Ghostface be like, nigga, we had to really write those rhymes. Like it wasn't like those, you know what I mean? Like yo, the best interview I've ever seen of Ghostface Killah by far is also the best interview that I've ever seen where the subject of Cuban Linx is discussed, which is that Red Bull that was filmed in Staten Island, or I should say on Staten Island, is that Red Bull in 2013, and it's Ray, Ghost, Cap, Master Killah, and Mathematics. And Ghost was really on one in that interview. And there's a point where he just goes off and just one of them Ghost rants and just goes off talking about Cuban Linx, about how, because the nigga interviewing him asked him if they would change anything on the album, would they? And Ghost is like, change something? Like, nigga, what? Like, you know, he just goes crazy. Like, man, what the fuck are you like? He didn't really, you know, not like that, but just kind of like that. And anyways, but in the process of that, he just goes on this rant about like, we had to really write those fucking songs. Be like, we had to really, when you listen to it, it's like, he mean that shit. They mean that shit. That shit ain't just a bunch of raps. It ain't just, you know, a lot of shit we love. And just to speak the truth, a lot of shit that we love, when you really look at the raps, motherfuckers ain't really saying a whole lot. You know what I mean? It just feel good. But they was really trying to say some shit and saying some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't even about like, oh, this song is about, you know, it wasn't so much about the topic of the song. It was like sentence for sentence what they were saying, even if they're, because most of the songs on Cuban Linx don't really have like topics that stray that far. Like I always say, if you compare Cuban Linx to Death Certificate, every song on Death Certificate is about a specific issue that Black people dealt with in '92. You know, this song is about this. This song is about this. Each song is like specifically like a fucking documentary on the subject. Whereas Cuban Linx, it's like motherfuckers is just getting off talking. It's like a gumbo of this is our world. This is what we into. This is what we do. But it ain't really like what is Knuckleheads about? What is Wu Gambino's about? Like niggas are just rapping. But the thing is they every sentence is like they approaching the sentences with that much focus. So it doesn't have to be this is our song about the analogy of the streets in comparison, you know, like they just going. But every sentence is that. And that's what to me is so, that's why I say it's like a gumbo of shit versus like, you know, like it's the illest comparison. If you just go song for song, you know, like they got a girl song, like for example, Spot Rushes, you could say it's about running up in spots and robbing them, but it's not really even so much about that. It's just kind of like what he says in the middle. But, you know, can you feel me? Storytelling, rap Magellan. I ain't tell like, you know, it's not like niggas be doing songs where it's like book reports. That album is like no book reports. It's just cats speaking they shit, but it's so intense and focused that it has more weight than most albums where cats say, this is my song about my childhood. This is my song about what it's like to deal with women that have kids. This is my song. You know, it's not, you know what I mean? It's like that's what's so amazing about that album. It's like they gave you that type of intensity without being so specific all the time. You know what I mean? Like per song. You know what I mean? Where, you know, so anyways, I don't know if I fully said what, if I communicate what I was trying to say, but yeah, man, Cuban Linx, man, fucking the greatest shit ever, man. Ain't nothing touching that shit. I don't give a fuck to anybody, and I'm from LA. I repeat that every time I talk about it. I want it to be known. I'm an LA nigga saying that. That shit's better than the Chronic, man. I said it, man. Don't tell Dre.
I just sent him the text. Che, what you talking about? You on mute?
I was just like, yeah, I mean, I agree with that, though. You know, I agree with that. I mean, Chronic is a hell of an album, you know, on many different levels. Dr. Dre is more than a producer. Dr. Dre is a composer, you know, and he composed that. And, you know, the RZA, what they did with the RZA on that project was phenomenal. And as far as, yeah, it's a great assessment right there. But as far as the sound and where they went with it, as far as being something different, and like you said, they created a moment. That's a fact. And if you go back to um, 36 Chambers, they arguably had some of the best moments on 36 Chambers. You know, I mean, Can It Be was a classic off of that. And that was Ray and Ghost right there. You know, the element of Ray and Ghost. Cream, you know, classic. You know, that was Ray right there. You know, and Cream is funny because Cream is such a classic. It feels like people remember it like Ghost was on that song. You know what I mean? I remember when they did Cream 2000 with Clue, and it was Ray and Ghost, but it was like that wasn't a Ray and Ghost song. You know, Tears with Ghost killing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they had some big moments on that album, and so hearing them, you know, create and craft this sound, it was the thing more than anything to me that I didn't see, that I didn't expect necessarily, was how, you know, that shit was some street shit. Like the Wu didn't feel like they was anything but street. This was the underbelly though. They was in the underbelly of the street on this one. You know what I'm saying? They got into the grimy, but they also created, you know, they also told a story. And this is where it goes back to what you were saying about Cube and Death Certificate. Even though it seemed like basically Cuban Link was like a theme. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't plot heavy, but it was theme based. You know, the theme was always being played throughout every song just about. So even though this song might not have been about, you know, like you said, this is my coming of age or my hard times, and you know, this is the beautiful woman song, whatever the case may be. This is my I'm gonna kick some knowledge to you song. It still had that cohesiveness because it was theme based.
It set the stage to do all of those things. They wound up doing all of those things. It was a space where they could experiment with stories and all of that. So by the time you got to Wu-Tang Forever, you look at Iron Man. You know, Iron Man sets the stage for Wu-Tang Forever too. You see what I'm saying? In that way where, okay, we got time now. We can tell stories. We could kick some knowledge. We could do all of these things. You see what I'm saying? Like, so Ghost album, that Iron Man, Wildflower, Kame, and all, you see what I'm saying? Like, made it okay. It's like, all right, yo, they like that? All right. So we about to go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Yo, your friend, yeah, just take a scene on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like this is real. Like, so you don't know if this was a story he wrote about whatever, or if it was real. Because when he said it said it like it was real. You see what I'm saying? So when you want a joint like could defeat the gods, you see what I'm saying? Or you like, yo, like I'm you there at the scene. You see what I'm saying? Like when I open it, tears just burst out my wig. Like I'm you in the zone. You see what I'm saying? 718-911 low battery. You like fuck. Like you see what I'm saying? So it's like all of this shit right there is there because of this space where they could have been in the space of having creative control and pushing us it a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? Papa Wu on the album over here, Papa Wu on the album over here, Papa Wu setting off this album right here. You see what I'm saying? So it's like all of these stages is set, and then we can hear all of the mix. You see what I'm saying? Oh, Dirty talking about whatever the hell he want to talk about, and everybody's doing they want to in a way where it's like I'm not pigeonholed into a spot. You know what I mean? Like so, I think it built and set the stage. So if you look at 36 Chambers to Wu-Tang Forever, everything in between, people took an opportunity to perfect their craft and their style and find a real sound where they could shine on future projects. Or, you know what I'm saying? And do whatever they wanted to do.
And
Type
then you
situation.
get the Wu Forever, and then you get which now we get MGM. Now
Right.
we get Maria.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we get these other tracks.
Right.
You know, we even get the shea butter cocoa butter spread joint
Right.
New God, Peace to the God. I can't remember the name of the song. Black soap.
Black shampoo.
Black
Yeah.
shampoo. I said black
Yeah.
soap. Pardon self, Lord. Pardon self, you.
And then they space with the vocalist. Let me shout out one of the greatest supreme vocalists of all time, man. Blue Raspberry. You see what I'm saying? Blue Raz,
Very true.
Chiquita. You see what I'm saying? Like they still finding a way to be able to do. You know what I mean? Like that, the joint where Blue Raz is on Ice Cream. Blue Raz is on Heaven and Hell. Blue Raz is on Grace's Eyes. Blue Raz is on fucking uh, Rainy Days. You see what I'm saying? She's in that zone space, doing what she's doing the best. You know what I'm saying? On that Jersey shit right there. You see what I'm saying? So she's there and she carves out a lane for Chiquita. Chiquita's on, you know, all of the epic joints. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lane to where even the vocalist is leaving room for vocalists to do what they do. You know what I mean? Like joint is nuts right.
Hey, oh Lord, I gotta.
Well, we're about to wrap it up right now. So let's
Okay, I'll just say this real quick. The part when Blue Raspberry hits that in the middle of Glaciers of Ice, I mean that's like one of the moments of modern music history where like you could put that up there with like niggas want to
Slime
talk
the
about
Family
Prince
Stone type shit.
Say what?
I said like Slime the Family Stone type shit.
Yeah, I was gonna even go, motherfucking Led Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix solo. Like it's right.
That's in that vein.
It's that level of shit. It's so big and it's so like, oh shit, they went there. And go to treasures the glaciers of ice, original man, possess the power to hold G's, possess the power to hold G's, guns, and grams. I mean, what the fuck more is there to say? Like, original man possess the power to hold G's. Like that's why I kept saying with the mystical shit. It's like it's street, yeah, but it's like niggas was, and particularly Ghost was really going there. Like original man possessed the power to hold G's, guns, and grams. Like he's fusing the street shit, but he's touching it from a ethereal, godly level. And it's like that shit, I never heard nothing like that. You know what I mean? And it still, in my opinion, hasn't been matched. There's countless, people have imitated that, but they ain't never made it feel like that, man. That shit is John Coltrane shit. There's only one, nigga. You know what I mean? And that's that. Fuck that. But y'all want to say one quick? I gotta say this. Just I'm gonna throw this explosive statement on my way on, because I know we're about to wrap it up. I say publicly that I think Death Certificate is the best rap album ever made, but Cuban Linx is my favorite. And what I mean by that is because I feel like if you look at all the things that make an album, Sonics is a big part of it. The mix on Death Certificate, but though each song being about a specific thing, it's like perfected. It's like perfected. It's like Death Certificate is like perfect. Cuban Linx is like it's like its imperfections make it better than what's perfect. But you know, and this is like an apples and oranges kind of a statement I'm making. But for me, I just think Cuban Linx is just more. It's like more. But Death Certificate is more like, it's like tighter. It's like more on paper.
More polished. You playing on hardwood right there with Death Certificate. Cuban
You
Linx.
playing what?
Top.
Say what?
I said it's more polished. You playing on the hardwood floor with
Exactly.
with Q. You know, Cuban Linx. That's, you know, we still outside.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you deal with the takeaway level, like each song being about, this song is about underage pregnancy. This song is about, you know, like each song is like a fucking mini documentary on a subject specific topic. It's crazy. Like you have to take that into consideration that he could do that while the shit was hard as fuck and slap. It ain't just some shit that, this, because a lot of times now niggas will do songs about something they want to rap about and they want to show their lyrical ability, but the song don't go crazy like that. You know what I mean? Cube, every song in there goes crazy. This is a song, Summer Vacation. This is a song about Bird in the Hand with the life of a drug dealer. This song is about, you know, like each song is about, but they don't feel, none of the songs are like not great in trying to be about something. Like, I don't want to say no names. There's a nigga I have in my mind, but he'll write songs about shit, but the songs won't be that dope. It'll just be like, look, I wrote a song about this, and you could appreciate it lyrically, but musically, album-wise, it ain't that shit you want to bump. Cube got that album off where it didn't even matter that he was giving you documentaries. So on that level, but to me, Cuban Linx is my favorite because I just think it's more. It's like comparing two women. It's like Cube, like Death Certificate is like the woman that everybody looks at and she's perfect. You know, Cuban Linx is like the chick whose titties might not be as big, but there's something about her that's more irresistible. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, those chicks you see sometimes and they're just perfect. It's like, she's perfect. And then you'll see another chick and she's not quite as perfect, but just something about her, you can't even put your finger on it. You just want to get with her more. That's Cuban Linx. Cuban Linx is just the ultimate bitch ever.
Yeah, Cuban Linx was our time. Not that, you know, not to take away from Death Certificate. Death Certificate, you know, we was more spectators to that. Whereas when we listen to Cuban Linx, that was our coming to age. That's when we was actually. Well, I was outside for both of those, but I was really outside though.
Right.
Cuban Linx. You know what I mean? So that right there also makes a difference. But I'll say this, man. I know, you know, knowledge born a lot. We might have a different opinion. But to me, Death Certificate is the greatest album of all time. Like, Death Certificate is insane. Ice Cube is actually probably my favorite rapper of all time growing up. You know what I mean? I got a lot of favorite rappers, but Ice Cube growing up, you know, no one had a run like Ice Cube. Not to take away from nothing we talking about with Cuban Linx to even segue into the Ice Cube, but it was a great comparison. Great comparison when you compared.
Thank you, King, and I appreciate you for saying that. Like, not just me, but about Cube, because what I mean is like, it's funny because I think like you make a point, because 95 is like all 88 or whatever. And like a lot of people, they don't remember the Cube shit like that. And it's like, I never hear people talk about Death Certificate like that. Like, and it's funny because a lot of people, they want to go into the America's Most, and America's Most is America's Most, but Death Certificate is the fucking one. It's to me, this is my opinion. You tell me if y'all agree. It's like the Midnight Marauder low end theory conversation. You know, it's like Midnight Marauder or the main ingredient over Mecca and the Soul Brother. It's like, I get it. A lot of people have such a attachment to the way the shit felt when, like, it just felt a certain way, and it's hard to get away from that initial feeling. But you can't really win in an ultimate argument and say that fucking Death Certificate ain't better than fucking America's Most Wanted. I mean, just look at the songs, just the lyrics alone. It's like what he's doing. Like, so I'm glad that you acknowledge that. And I always fight for people to mention that shit. Like, people don't mention that shit enough, man. They really don't mention that album. And like Knowledge Born, you know, we talk about the fandom that goes with certain artists and certain albums. It's real popular to like certain conversations are like, this is a conversation, so people jump into the conversation, but there are other conversations that need to be sparked, and the Death Certificate conversation needs to be really, really sparked, because it's not even really an active online conversation like that. Like the Cuban Linx is an active online conversation. It's not really an act. People mention it here and there, but not like, it's not a, like if you hashtag.
We definitely should do Death Certificate. I mean, Colorblind is probably one of the greatest hip hop records ever, and it's on an album full of all types of gang tales and tales of what's going on in the hood. But when you hear Colorblind, you're literally listening to a whole bunch of rapping gangbangers on the track.
Man,
like,
let me say,
one of them sounds like a sociopath on that album, on that track.
I remember when Knowledge first told me about you, Shay, and he spoke highly of your mind. And this is the moment where I'm really seeing it, because you may be the second person I've ever heard where the first song that they mentioned by name off Death Certificate is Colorblind. And I always go to this when I have this conversation. I've said this to people probably 5 times this year. Whenever I talk about Cube, my go-to bar, as I say, the thing with Cube is a lot of people in general, they just don't understand what writing is. And they look at rap, they fall for the low-hanging fruit. Now, this some people might not agree with this, but like, I'm not saying it's easy to do the crazy syllables and the crazy metaphors, but it's, as a lyricist, it's more like presented. This is what, you know, we like punchlines and we like syllables, and, you know, go into the sword, flow into the more, so into the more dope. Like, it's like, that's the obvious shit that everybody's looking for. But the real shit is to say something that fuck the syllables. You saying something that's going to get into a motherfucker's spirit, and they're going to be like, this nigga said. So I always say, that's why motherfuckers that speak about Scarface and Cube are speaking a different conversation than motherfuckers you ask them. I mean, I remember, you know, and this is no disrespect, but I remember asking somebody one time who their top 5 was, and they named 4 of the niggas from Slaughterhouse. And I was like, bro, like, come on, man. You named 4 motherfuckers that do the syllable like shit, like, you, like, really? Like, you ain't named one nigga like a Scarface or somebody with a prodigy, somebody who's coming at it from a different place? Like, come on. So, and that's no slight to them, but I'm saying, like, there's something to be said for those sentences that aren't dependent upon a goddamn syllable, you know, show or fucking punchline. So the line I always refer to with Cube is, I say, the song Colorblind, he lays, the whole verse is about him pulling up to the stoplight, and some niggas at the light, and he feels the tension. He doesn't know what it's gonna be, and he's sitting there. He's strapped. He doesn't know what it's gonna be, and then he says the famous line, "And when the light turned green, I don't bail out. I want to know what these black men are all about." And I'm like, that's what all these so-called lyrical miracle, whatever words niggas, backpacker niggas can't write shit like that. That's that shit when motherfuckers talk about the great novels, the great books. It ain't about fancy words. It's about saying some shit. Fancy words are great. We love them. But at the end of the day, man, make me feel some shit, man. Tupac, man, niggas make you, and that's, come on, man, just to say it like that. And when the light turned green, I don't bail out. I want to know what these black men are all about. So you bringing that up, man, salute, bro. That's big, big.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, man, shit, the album, the second half of the album started off with Khaled on it.
Come on.
You know what I'm
Come on.
saying? So it's like that album right there was. I remember the whole concept of the light side, the depth side, the depth side, and the life side. You know, starting off with the. That was just a classic album, man. It's a classic. I can talk about that. We got to do something dedicated for that project right there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and a real quick insert. The song that came a couple years later, Natural Born Killers with Dre and Cube, produced by Sam Snead. Wherever you at, Sam Snead, God bless you, nigga. I was gonna say that song, low key. I wonder if RZA was listening to that shit and was like, yo, I gotta do some shit like that. Because you could argue that, like, you could almost argue that you know, you could argue that was the influence on RZA on a couple of joints, man. You know what I mean? Because that to me, Natural Born Killers is still one of the hardest records ever. You know what I mean? Like that song is just, you know, and Cuban Linx has a little bit of that. You know, the intro on fucking Fourth Chamber. You know what I mean? Like that Natural Born Killers, man, big. Kiti kiti yaya. Woo. 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 And let's not forget the video. Pop
I was just about to say,
sniper.
you know, that was probably one of the greatest videos, and I don't know how it wasn't more controversial than it was. Like, because
We could do an Ice Cube thing another day. We don't want to come on Friday, Saturday, whatever.
Yeah, pardon
Look,
us, God. We just
my ears is burning. I'm trying my best to let y'all have it. All right, look, I don't want to hear this shit. We could come on and if it's about death certificate and y'all want to go down this whole lane, we
No,
could
you're right.
do
You're
it.
right. You're right. You're right.
I don't want to
nah,
do it.
man.
We here to talk about the Shaolin guards.
First of all, no, he right, but nah. I'm gonna say this, man. Rest in peace, OJ. Natural Born Killers, one of the craziest videos ever, yo. And rest in peace, Tupac, because he even had the ill cameo in there, the sniper, yo.
And remember too, the nigga spit the toothpick out right before he bust the shot. Like what?
Yeah,
Like
that video was classic.
it's little shit. Like he ain't just a sniper. The nigga spit the toothpick out with it real quick. Like I wish somebody could say, was that Pac's? Did Pac bring that to the table?
Bloody glove, man.
I like the song. Okay.
White Bronco. All I gotta see, look, white Bronco, bloody glove. That was the video. And my man's wasn't even, the trial wasn't even over yet.
Yo, they was wilding so hard. See, that was when Cube was on his bullshit. That nigga said, "For fuck Charlie Manson, I snatched him out his truck, hit him with a brick, and I'm dancing." Like, God damn, Cube, you just, Cube, man, Cube was all, man, Cube was wilding, bruh. Cube was wilding in them days, man.
The shit happened to Reginald Denny. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. He's talking about Reginald Denny. That's what I'm saying. Like, and just to do him like that, like, yeah, nigga, fuck that, beat that nigga. Like, Cube was wilding, bro. See, people forget who Cube was, man. They forget. They forget Cube was the craziest motherfucker on the mic.
Every word of that song. That don't look. Look. We're not doing it. We can come back another day.
We're gonna do that though. We're gonna come back another day. But that video is
America's Most. What is
Yo,
it?
Mathematics said he wanted to make beats after he watched RZA make Ice Cream. Raekwon says he never liked that beat. Like, or maybe that song. No, I think he said he never liked the song. You know, we was making boxing music. I was making boxing music. I wasn't thinking about the girls. Like, yeah,
I could
Ray,
see that.
fuck it.
I could see that. I could see that.
He says that in the Red Bull, the Wu-Tang. You know that's I watch that shit like every 8 months. I watch that interview, man. It's classic. You know what's great about the interview on some science too? That's when they all sit there and break down what year they all came into the lessons and shit. Because the dude asking them asked what year. So you got Ray, followed by Ghost, followed by motherfucking Capadonna, followed by Mathematics, followed by Master Killah, all breaking down like, yo, the lessons came to me in '85. It's a classic interview on a lot of levels. It's like the rarest. To me, it's my favorite Wu-Tang interview, even though RZA and Meth and these other niggas ain't there. But to me, it's the best one that you get the most like information from, for me at least. Because a lot of those other interviews, you just get them niggas when they young, just popping they shit. But in terms of like information, you know what I mean? Like, that's the interview right there. I probably watched that shit 2 months ago. I'd be like in hotel rooms just watching that shit randomly, like just whenever I want to just get a jolt of.
Yeah, Ray and Ghost was going through degrees at the same time on the album.
Yeah.
You memorized the 1 to 40 yet? I'm at the 19th degree.
No,
You see what I'm saying?
it's like I could see Ray feeling like that about Ice Cream, but in real time, Can-May was one of his best verses.
Yeah.
And like in real time, when he did that verse, that was like his best verse to date at that time.
You know what I never understood about that line though? I mean about that song is the whole turkey bacon. I don't get down like that. I don't get down neither. Like it was like word. I remember that shit just like if y'all can educate me, please. I'm a Cali nigga. You know I know about Jello, but I'm like niggas can't eat turkey bacon.
It might have been something slick to say in the line. You see what I'm saying? Like in that time frame, it was something where plenty of guys was dealing with some vegetarian type situation where they was only eat fish. You see what I'm saying? So they was like, hence the song "Fish." We eat fish. You see what I'm saying? Like that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it could have been some slick shit. Me just inferring where I ain't gonna be here in the morning. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be here in the morning. I ain't the cat for the breakfast. You understand? Like I'm gonna come through handle my business and I'm gonna be out. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's just me flipping it on some inference. Like, nah, you ain't gonna see me in the morning. You ain't gonna see me.
I thought the line was she don't eat turkey bacon.
That's what we're saying. But that's what made it so weird because it was like, plus I don't eat turkey bacon. I don't get down like that. I don't get down neither. Like it's almost like he said bacon. I don't eat bacon, but like turkey bacon, it was like,
yeah,
wow. But you know, maybe the turkey bacon they was dealing with was cheaply made, like that was around at the time. I should say not that they were dealing with, but that was like around. You know, they might have been like, oh, this shit got some chemicals or some shit in it. Who knows? But yeah, no, Can-May. Come on, man. Can-May. You know what's amazing? Can-May is the greatest song ever made with some musical, like the bass line on that shit. My father's a bass player. I just say the bass line in that is some of the most slippery shit. RZA was just going in like that song's probably, in my opinion, Can-May's probably the best Wu-Tang song that like musically has some weird shit going on, but it's just so amazing. Like, you know, the snare too. It's like the snare of that song is like, it's amazing. And I'm saying this to say, not to like point out error. Like, so it's not, if anybody's watching this, they don't take it the wrong way. Let me explain what I mean. To me, RZA's the most creative producer in all of hip hop ever. Period. More creative than everybody. You know, Dilla was the tightest with the technique, but RZA did shit that none of these other motherfuckers did. And I know that's 10 other episodes, but no one had shit like RZA where it's that nutty, the shit he's doing with the fucking music. So me saying that the snare on that song is weird is like it's like saying that Michael Jordan, you know, to me, it's like saying Michael Jordan, when he jumped off the wrong foot on that particular shot. Like, it doesn't really matter. But in that song, it's just funny. Like, the snare, it's like, every time when I hear that song, sometimes I'm like, wow, like, it just sounds like so. And then the bass line is just kind of like, it's amazing, but that song is something else, man. That song is crazy. Kame is just, you know, and then Capadonna said on a Gilly TV interview that his rap is about Jizza's sister. That's what he said. Look it up. He said he wrote the rap about
Bob
Jizza's
with my
sister.
eyes on top. See this book cover lady that be blowing up the spot.
Like, that's amazing.
Like the hands on the clock.
Come on, man. It's like to learn that in 2022 or whatever. That's only the Wu niggas have it like that. There's nobody else where you learning shit that's that like blow your mind up. You know what I mean? Like Wu, that's why they the illest, man, because they have the greatest Easter eggs, the greatest shit of anybody. Nobody else got shit like that. That's so like, damn. You find out what the significance of certain lines so much later. You know what I mean? It's like, it's amazing because they really were focused on being that, and they achieved it. You know, it's amazing, man. That's why they're the best.
Indeed. Check it, yo. I gotta go. I'm on knowledge. I'm gonna holler at you, Lord.
Word.
I gotta break out. It's way past the I gotta be up too early. You know what I mean? I gotta be out the door too early. I gotta be out the door, can't see morning. And I probably ain't gonna be done till can't see evening. So it's gonna be one of them days. Appreciate you hopping on here with us, Young Hump.
Always, my brother.
Always a pleasure. Last time we had the ill build on Juice.
Yeah.
We had the ill build, so.
Y'all owe me some fucking shows too, by the way, man. Y'all owe me the Mafia show. You understand what I'm saying? I seen that bum ass list they put out. Y'all owe me, you know what I'm saying, the Mafia show.
Indeed. But look, I'm saying peace right now. We get into that. You know what I mean? You right though. I don't disagree. You right. But I gotta freak out though, man. So
peace, King.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, God, for real. Like, I love your perspective and your mind on shit, man. It's always a pleasure.
Well, we're gonna definitely do this again, man. This ain't over. You mean got more bills coming, man. We definitely gonna do that Q bill too. Peace to the family, College Born, Young Hump, and I'm out.
Peace. Yeah. We here. We came, we saw, we conquered. You know what I mean? Motherfucking Cuban Linx, man. I get so passionate about that shit. I have a deep sympathy for every person that was alive during that time that, you know, that's supposed to know about that album and doesn't. Don't matter what they've accomplished in their life, there's still something missing.
Corrupted science itself. Because at one time it was just the science of living and surviving here on this planet. Science of life.
Cause you a star that you read it in my creation. I'm God Zodiac, I'm made from constellations. My brain is a bomb waiting to flame an abomination. No change in the bomber's nation, just some old dollars placed in the pockets of Satan. While I walk amongst the blind, explaining chakras to the cavemen. I'm locking from the grave, sending doctors to the shamans. Scientists ashamed they getting knowledge from the pagans. I'm in Nirvana with militant, philosophical, diligent builders aiming for spots in a large nation. I'm in the all in all, the freedom of God hopped and rise to the occasion. Surprised that we invading your time finished, diminished. I'm live from the awakening. cameras on tilt as I flex my success. I'm fly, look what I built. Smooth just like silk in the groove. You might wilt if your lotus ain't focused and sewn just like a quilt from the needle to the record to the laser. My behavior resembles the high sev. You see my 2 fingers up, yelling peace to the gods, waving bye to the haters, standing on the black dot in the center of my square. In the middle of the circle, I designed the creator. The Khalifa when I speak through the speaker. Thoughts of a magician is lost in mysticism that reached the non-believer. I shine in your theater.
The clock was already moving before you saw the wheels turn.
IAK, send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Signs of the times, the future I foresee. KAZOD, IAK, send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Wheel of the spirit, the stars, the deeds. Who's better than this? Intelligentness. Clouds like I pass heaven to split. Killing cops, shaming treacherousness. You serve the devil, you're protecting the myth. Professional hitman, I spit excellence. I connect you to bliss. Grab this pebble from my hand and I let you exist. But if you don't, well, I spit a ghost spell. Get off my coattails. My coach is our God. I live it so well. The life of a G as high as can be. A soul model, what your role model aspires to be. True boss life. In order to lead, you need foresight. Became rich with PRT. We ain't poor, right? Error of the rich righteous. That fix the crisis of the terror of the mid-lifeless. The myth virus infecting the whole planet. Infected the globe is medic depressing my soul. Answers the questions. I'm like Osiris flying in the gold-plated sky disc with no pilot. Kingdom of heaven, you can walk through my gate but speak certainty. Silence is a virtuous trait. I was more amazing. I ain't have to learn to be great. When every child's born, they ain't have to learn to create. It's when it feels rejected. That's when love turns into hate. God leak through a hole within space. Welcome to my dimension. When you think of the God, well, I'm the guy you mentioned. ZOD, IAK, you send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Signs of the times, the future I foresee. KAZOD, IAK, you send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Wheel of the spirit, the star, the spirit, the star, the
You're not ready for that.
wheel of the spirit, the star, the spirit, the star,
The dynamic of law is in that wheel. Man discovered that shit. You just ain't ready to take on that dimension.
We just really regurgitate
What the creators already know. You probably still think we in the age of Pisces.
But no matter how we try to spin it, it's the same wheel.